Welcome everyone to this video. So we are going to discuss question number 2, which came in JEE Advanced 2023. So more than one correct question, and so basically we have a prism uh, with us, and we are passing two kinds of light through that prism. So in the first figure, we have a plain polarized blue light which passes through the prism with a deviation of 60 degree. In the second case, we are passing a plane polarized light again through the same prism, but this time there is a reflected ray uh, from the prism, as well as there is a the normal refracted ray, as well as the emergent ray. So deviation is 30 degree, as is given here. The object of this question is to evaluate what is the angle of prism, whether the blue light is polarized in the plane of incidence, whether the refractive index of the prism is square root 2, and then whether the angle of refraction from blue light in air at exit plane is 60 degree. So these are the things which we want to analyze. So how do we approach a question of a prism? That is the point. So our objective is to do this question in a time frame of only 10 minutes. So already some time we have already spent. So let's see. Um, Now, when light is incident on what we say refracted refracting surface, then it gets refracted like this, and it gets bent again like this. So at this point, we can say there is some deviation. Let's say that angle of refraction is R1, and again when the light again bends towards the air from the prism, let's say the angle inside is R2. So one of the equations which we know is that R1 plus R2 is equal to angle of prism A, that is this particular angle. And we also know that angle of incidence plus angle of emergence is equal to angle of prism plus angle of deviation. So when plane polarized light is incident like this, what is actually happening is that, well, besides the equation as such are just some factual things. What is happening is that this plane polarized light, as it goes inside, what we say, the prism, there is no reflected ray. So this is the case of complete uh, refraction of light. So this is when Brewster's law is applicable, that tan of angle of incidence of the blue light is equal to the refractive index of the prism. So refractive index we know is square root 3. So the angle of incidence for the blue light comes out to be some 60 degree, right? And deviation, we know deviation is also 60 degree. So from this we can say that angle of emergence is equal to angle of prism. Uh, Whereas we already know that the angle R2 is equal to A minus R1. So this implies that mu times, that is n sine R2, is equal to sine angle of emergence. So this is from Snell's law at the second surface, that and refractive index of the first medium into angle of incidence at the internal medium. R2 is equal to sine of angle of emergence. Now we already know that angle of emergence is equal to angle of prism, that we proved. So we can substitute that here, and we can say refractive index n is equal to sine into a minus r1. So this is equal to sine a. So refractive index n. What is refractive index? Refractive index we have already we know is root 3. So this is equal to sine of angle of prism A into minus R1. So what is R1? R1 is 30 degree, and this is A. How is R1 30 degree? That you can find easily by Snell's law. This angle is 60 degree. So sine 60 degree is equal to root 3 of the internal angle. So root 3 into so uh, root 3 by 2 is equal to root 3 into sine r1. So sine r1 becomes half. So that's why r1 is equal to 30 degree. When we solve this whole thing, we'll get angle of prism A is equal to 60 degree. So that we found. Okay. Now we'll use the second figure. Second figure says that case sine, we have angle of minimum deviation. So sine of 60 degree plus angle of minimum deviation by 2 divided by sine of 60 by 2 is equal to refractive index of the prism for red light, mu r. So this value will get as this value you can easily say this is sine 45, this is 1 by root 2, and this is sine 30 degree, that is 1 by 2. So it will get inverted when it comes up, so there is square root 2. So option C we are getting, and option A we are getting up till now, uh, because blue light is polarized in plane of incidence. Angle of refraction for blue light at the exit plane is 60 degree. That means we have to prove that angle of emergence is also 60 degree. So we already proved that A is 60, so E is also 60. So thank you for joining.